got it live now. So you know you love static selection. This entire the taxes. Oh my god, that's probably an exaggeration. It only took like 2 hours. I went through every single statement on my bank over the past year. It's actually really good. There's this one subscription for a PDF reading file and notarize a form. I downloaded, or like, I got the subscription, and then apparently I just never got rid of it. And it was like $35 a month. So that was probably good to be aware of. I needed to do all of this because, technically, I own a business. This thing that we're doing here, this is a business. I have an LLC and I have an accountant. So I got to tell my accountant all of the business expenses. When I pay the Adobe Premiere Pro subscription so I can edit these videos, that counts as a business expense. So for all of you who don't do taxes or anything like that, first of all, do your taxes. Second of all, be smart with your money. Third of all, this is how an LLC works, okay? If you're a YouTuber, listen up. You better get yourself an LLC. I remember when I first started popping off on YouTube, I went to my first convention. I believe it was Jamie Curious. Oh, is that his name? I can't remember his name. Basically, this guy that I really haven't talked to in years. But I somehow ended up getting dinner with a couple of YouTubers and this guy. It was really nice. I was literally just like starting my career on YouTube, and they were like, "Yo, you gotta get yourself an LLC." And I'm passing that message along, right? At least if you live in the US. No, if you're like in any country that does taxes, get a freaking LLC. I'll try to simplify this, all right? Because you can get a little lost in the weeds, all right? There's a lot of words, there's a lot of vernacular, there's a lot of jargon. And LLC is good because it splits your income. So like in the US, basic info, the more money you make, the more tax you pay, right? You get placed in higher tax brackets. So if you made $1 million a year, first of all, as soon as you like cross over the threshold, so it's like, okay, let's say this. If you make under $1 million a year, you pay 10% in tax. And if you make $1 million a year, you pay 50% in tax. Now, this is no oversimplification. This is not how it works, but this is to get this point from. The first thing to understand is if you make $1,001, you don't pay 50% tax on all of that. You actually only pay 50% tax on that $1. So for the $1 million, you would pay 10%, which would be $100,000. And then on the $1 that's in that bigger tax bracket, you would pay 50 cents. And I say all this because I think it can be confusing for people if you don't understand it. They're like as soon as you cross into the threshold of this new tax bracket, suddenly you're paying way more on taxes. Why would I do that? Wouldn't it be good to like not make as much money and then you save money on taxes? No, that's not how it works. You only get like whatever money is like in that tax bracket is the money that gets struck. Right? That's basically how taxes work in a nutshell. The reason you want an LLC is because you get to split the total income is half of it. Half of it is the company's revenue, and half of it is yours as an employee. There's also an oversimplification. It wouldn't be like half to like talk to your accountant about that to finish. I had a meeting with my accountant in 40 minutes, so I gotta get this done really quick. You can almost think of it as putting water in buckets. We're gonna split all of our water into 2 buckets instead of 1. Now it's still the same amount of water, but the levels in each bucket is lower, aka the amount that you're gonna get taxed is lower because you're splitting. But that is the basic reason you want an LLC. There's also other benefits that I'm sure an accountant could tell you about that are also anyone that I really understand as somebody who is technically a business owner, but like is very far on the spectrum, like you're from the business side of YouTube. I make videos. I don't really know how much money I made this year until like I counted them all up. And sometimes I just forget like a couple revenue streams that I have. I'm like, oh wait, frick. I made money from Twitch because I streamed this year. Shoot, I gotta tell my accountant about that. So yeah, hopefully that helps like a little bit. It's kind of weird finances. Like you can take a financial literacy class in school, but then it just feels, at least to me, it feels different when you're in the real world. Because maybe you learn about these principles. Oh yeah, compounding interest. You should do that. You should do that. But then you think to yourself, how do I invest? Where do I go? What websites do I use? What buttons do I click? How do I do this? And that was me when I was 16 years old and trying to invest for the first time with my 300 bucks that I saved up over the year. So I just Googled something online and I put all of my money in that. And it probably wasn't the best move, but it was at least me. It was definitely a step in the right direction. And now here I am as a 23-year-old 6 years later, talking about actual finance. Oh my gosh, I'm such a fortunate person. So yeah, today is going to be filled with responsible adult things. I finished signing all the posters for SD so you can get those shipped out. I need to print off a label, go to the post office so I can ship those away. I did the dishes. I'm going to do my taxes, like and stuff. Hopefully I can get all that finished today. This is by far the most prepared I will be going into a meeting. I looked at all my receipts, bro, and I think about the past year. There's probably more stuff than I like could have written off. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's nice to be aware of stuff. I remember when I first got my bank account, my mom told me that you should just check in on your account like once a month. You just gotta know what's going on. And I'm pretty bad at that. So maybe like I'm not practicing what I preach, but I'm also in a unique situation where my view on money is just kind of different because I have an unusual amount of success. Like I don't know if to put it, guys. I'm kind of just rich. I can go to the store. I can buy as many blueberries as I want, and I just don't have to bat an eye because I don't need to worry about it. But even still, I've been getting better at looking at where my money is going and whatnot. Also, just investing. I usually make one big investment payment at the end of the year because I'm like, I'll wait until my taxes are paid, and I'll just like kind of check it all in some like long-term investing savings thing. But I've been checking in on that a little bit more. I've been checking in on my bank account stuff. I'm starting to, I'm doing a good, what would you call it? A good portfolio. Dude, I got some bonds. Isn't that freaking cool? It's basically like investing through the government. It's a guaranteed payback. The only way you wouldn't get paid back is if the country freaking imploded on itself. And if that's the case, you have bigger problems. You know what I mean? The bonds are kind of cool. I'm starting to use my investing accounts more. And then also it's weird because I've really primarily just been a YouTuber for so long. That's been like the main quote unquote job, or if you think about it in terms of money. Like I didn't really even think about speedrunning a job, which maybe made me feel like I shouldn't do it more, like kind of made me feel guilty about it because I'm like, this isn't like contributing to anything. It's not like I'm making money for it. So I just kind of like doing it. But now it's got to the point where it's like, okay, it's actually like a thing that does make sense. It's weird, bro. Isn't money just weird in general? Like as a concept, it's just kind of a made up agreement between people of like value on things. Oh my gosh, I'm going to start thinking about my anthropology class. That was such an awesome class to take in college. Kind of a shame I'm not in college anymore. I would totally take more anthropology classes. Actually, I take that back. I really like something in college. Bro, it's crazy. I've been out of college, what, 4 years now, technically. School used to be such a big part of my life. And now it's just like, it's no part of my life. And nowadays, I learn just kind of by doing things in the world, asking people. Yeah, I gotta keep learning with freaking speedrunning, bro. It's only gonna get harder. There's more people than ever starting to play, and even like new players are starting to like get better and better. And yeah, it's kind of scary. I remember somebody was talking. I think it was Bloodway. He was talking about the stats of Minecraft speedrunning as a whole, and we went from I think 20-ish thousand people would ever played a match on ranked to now 70,000, and it's like, wow. All those people, give them 2 or 3 seasons, and they're gonna start we're gonna start getting some really good speedrunners from this era, which is gonna make it harder for me, but also gonna come with a challenge. Can I still stay in the top 100 with all of that happening? I definitely think my mentality on learning has still been pretty good. It's not like a Dugile level of learning. I'm definitely not as good as him, but I'm still constantly trying to learn new things. I tried out a new mouse the other day. I need to probably learn some more things with my fashion route. For my times in general have been getting faster. My average, for the first time, mind you, has gone below 11 minutes. The average time it takes me to beat a Minecraft ranked speedrun is under 11 minutes. And so that was a really cool milestone to hit. I should probably get people to review my footage. I don't know. I just think the overall decision making of my gameplay has been getting better, which is the most important thing. There's definitely some stuff in the micro that I could be getting better at, or overall bashing around maybe some hero stuff. It's also just been really fun. I think I've had a better mental for enjoying ranked as well, which has been really nice. And it's silly as it sounds, the thing that helps that, well, I'm telling myself that it's good to get 11-minute time. It's good to get stuff 12. Because for a while, I was so focused on comparing myself to the best of the best and thinking, frick, man, I'm not getting a sub 10 every single time. I'm just not where I want to be. So instead, oh my gosh, I just got an 11-minute time. Oh my gosh, I just got a 12-minute time. And I know these times are different to everybody else. So the point isn't to compare yourself to them, but have reasonable expectations. I think that's one of the most important things. Yeah, Ranked has been doing well. Honestly, in life's been freaking awesome recently. Isn't it amazing to just be a person, living, breathing? Oh my gosh, I went for a walk this morning. It was so nice out. I was scared this past year of winter. I thought it was going to be super cold, dark, and sad. I mean, it can get cold sometimes. It's not cold, dark, and sad all the time. It's kind of nice. There's blue sky, there's things to look at, there's people to talk to, and boom, there was a cut in the video. I went to my appointment. I'm done with taxes. Well, not actually. The payments go through a little bit, but I'm mostly there. I did everything that I could. I still have a tax form thing from Charles Schwab that I'm literally waiting on. Charles Schwab, come on, look up for me. Send over the form so I can pay my tax. And then I should be totally lost. I kind of forgot what this commentary was about. Something about taxes and money. It's kind of a weird world that we live in. Surely I win this ranked game. I don't really know what to do. My opponent finding with strongholds. Okay, here I am. Going for the 0. Please tell me I hit a 0. I feel like I've been getting better at speedrunning. Low-key sometimes my mechanics feel a little off. Oh, this one is crazy. I looked 1 for 0. Okay, I'm not going to hit the 0. It should stop. The fact that this stop hittable. Okay, it's front. No, never mind. It's back. It's back. So we're just going to go for a simple half bow here. I did sort of have one. Oh, look at that. Look at that torch flush. That was kind of unintentional. I did sort of have one last topic of conversation that I've been sort of dancing around. By dancing around, I literally have to make 2 commentary videos and I kind of scratch them. If you haven't noticed, maybe you haven't noticed, I've noticed a little bit. I tried not to notice. More people are watching these videos. Probably due to the fact that CSR as a whole and whatever, yada yada yada. Dude, sometimes I look at the views and I'm like, oh, there's too many people watching. Why? It's different. It's different when I'm talking about freaking financial, going to talk to my accountant versus making a Minecraft video on a challenge. A Minecraft video on a challenge that can get 1 million views, that doesn't make me feel weird. 300,000 people listen to me to talk about taxes, bro? I don't know. It's too personal, and it makes me want to make videos less. So low key, the more successful I get on this channel, lots of the time I feel like I need to make less. It's mostly just I don't share my entire life. I think it's important and I think it's cool and I like doing it. But sometimes it's a little much. The nice thing about it though is I can literally just not post the video and it's totally chill. So the reason the last two videos were strictly about ranked speedrunning is because I was like, all right, I'm done sharing for a bit. We're just gonna talk about the speedrunning. So we'll see when the next little story time video comes out. You also gotta like live life to get a good story. You gotta wait. You can't just like constantly pumping things out. But I hope you enjoyed this Yappa video. I'll talk to you later. Have a good rest of your day. Live life. Be awesome. Be kind stuff. Peter is going on an adventure. Learn different skills and use them to get creative. Pokemon Pokopia, only on Nintendo Switch 2. This might be one of the worst interactions I've had. Period. Dude, that's such a bad way to start. I'll try to draw some silver lining from the story because it is just a good story, but also it was just kind of insane. So I went to the party, and there were two girls at the party that I thought were pretty cute. And I was like, oh, I'm totally going to go talk to them. And it was funny because my friend was the one organizing the party, and he had told me, hey, you should talk to this girl. And this is the main character of this story. We're going to call her Yellow Shoes Girl. He said, you should talk to Yellow Shoes Girl. I'll call the other girl who will come up later in the story Orange Shoes. And now, if you've never like really been into dating, there's a couple of things in life that are just kind of absolute no's for me. You know, if somebody is a heavy drug user, I'm not gonna date them or even pursue them. I'll talk to people, I'll talk to anybody, I'll be friendly with anybody, but there's a couple of things that just is an absolute no. And one of those things is religion. If you don't have the same views on religion, I think that's a very hard way to live life. I think if you're in a relationship with somebody, not to say I'm out here like I'm going to be in a relationship with these two girls at my party. I'm saying in general, the people I would pursue, you sort of need to have that worldview the same. Whether you're Muslim, Christian, atheist, I think you should be on the same page. And as my friend is telling me, hey, you should talk to Yellow Shoes Girl. I'm like, okay, sure. The second thing he says is like, she's da-da-da. And it's the opposite of what I am. And so I'm like, frick, bro. All right, automatically, absolutely, I'm not like gonna pursue this. But, you know, it's good social practice. It's good to talk to girls, you know, chat. I'll totally talk to her throughout the night. We eat some food. There's a dance. If you know me, I freaking love my dances. I got my boogie on. I did the worm. I was schmooving. I was grooving. And then we actually went out into a pool. So everybody got in the pool. We're hanging around, playing around. And Yellow Shoes Girl is pretty close proximity to me for a lot of the time, but pretty quickly I realized this is the kind of girl I don't really even have interest in talking to or chatting to. Just kind of a very big, loud personality. There was a couple things she said that threw me off, and any sort of conversation that was forming, I kind of just let die. Part of this is actually in the ocean, so a wave comes over and hits both of us. So she drifts like pretty close to me. I dodge a little bit away, and she said something like, well, are you scared I'm gonna hit you? I'm like, yeah. So, tomato, we've not got to the main point of this story. The point is, leave the water, get back to the party area, and that same friend who says, I should talk to Yellow Shoes Girl, said something like, I think Yellow Shoes Girl really enjoyed talking to you. And I just sitting there, I say something like, yeah, I hope she enjoyed talking to me too, just like anybody else. But the party's ending in 20 minutes or so. Stuff is kind of winding down. And I've said hi to a lot of the people. I see Orange Shoes Girl, who I guess this is like the first time she's being brought up. I see Orange Shoes Girl kind of standing over in a corner. She's like a more quiet girl. One of the two that I initially was like, oh, I totally want to talk to this girl. They're cute. So I go over to Orange Shoes Girl and I start chatting. And it's great. You know, we're talking about work. dogs for a living, making some small talk. It's a good time. But then Yellow Shoe Girl comes over with two other girls and sort of joins the conversation, which is fine. We're at a party, we're at a social gathering. That's sort of what happens. Groups form and dissolve. But I'm kind of just wanting to talk to Orange Shoes Girl, but suddenly I find myself in a four-way conversation with these three new girls. But the critical point happens when Yellow Shoe Girl asks me what I do for a living, and I say, I make Minecraft videos. I have never had somebody act so differently after me saying that. And the reason I say she acted so differently was because her follow-up question was, do you do your own laundry? And I've never felt more disrespected in my entire life. I was just kind of in shock, like, what did you just say? So my immediate thought is, yeah, obviously I have a house paid off. Like, yeah, of course I do my own laundry. And as I start to formulate an answer, I'm like, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not trying to flex. Why would I say? I guess I could just say like, yeah, I have a house. So stutteringly, it comes out, yeah, I have a house. I do my own laundry. And the very next thing that she says is, oh, he's stuttering now. I just felt the smile melt off of my face. You know, at social gatherings, usually I'm very outgoing. I'm a social butterfly. I like chatting to people. I like to think I'm pretty happy in life. But it just evaporated. What was I feeling at the time? Panic, anxiety, not sure. The bad feelings, I was not feeling good. It's sort of the nightmare situation of like why you would never make Minecraft videos growing up in school, why you would never bring that up in conversation, because it's just like, you know, this is like the nightmare situation. All of this is taking place within a couple of seconds, by the way. Rapid fire questions somewhere along. This is the one that I don't remember as well. The other two pretty ingrained into my head. I'm not going to forget those anytime soon. But something about feeling established in life comes up, and I say something to accept. Yeah, I feel ahead in life because I just do. I think just nature of having a successful career with a YouTube channel, having a house, like I do just feel ahead. I was taking blood the other day. I was getting my blood drawn, and I told the nurse I'm 25. I'm 23. I'm 23. I think I'm older than I am. Maybe it's because I'm 2025 or something. But I say something to the extent of, yeah, I feel pretty ahead in life. And again, Yellow Shoes Girl says something like, you know, sometimes people feel they're ahead in life when they're really not. Just pretty directly just telling me like, hey, you're not ahead in life. Like, and I've just never been verbally bullied like this before. I kind of just sat there and took it. Any interest in conversation, I mean, was out the window. I was about ready to go. Thank goodness the party was literally shutting down in 5 minutes. So we kind of just keep standing there chatting. The girls invited me to go like have drinks with them after, like go clubbing. And I was like, no, thank you. So I get in the car with the boys, the guys that I came to this party with, and I tell them the story. I just needed to get the story off my chest. I told this a couple of times, but it was so crazy how much I kept thinking about this interaction. It was kind of burned into my brain for that entire night. And was I still thinking about it the next day? Maybe not. But that entire night, I just kept thinking to myself, oh my gosh, I'm still thinking about this. And you know, if there's one like sort of like turn we could take in a story to, obviously I don't want this story to be like, wow, this person is like terrible. Like if you have thoughts of, oh my god, this person's so terrible, I'm gonna leave a comment saying they're terrible. You don't need to. I don't have any ill wishes for this person. Granted, they're not gonna be in my life. Like you can choose the people in your life. Thank goodness, like, oh my gosh, I'm never gonna interact with them. And it's pretty great. You can think that about some people, and also you don't have to go attacking everybody. So I think that's still. But there's very few times in life where you get negative things like this that happen to you, or I guess hopefully this very deep. It's an opportunity to sort of, you know, observe that. I think a very valuable skill in life is being able to just kind of observe your own thoughts and your emotions, be able to sit with it, think about it, not judge it, just kind of accept it. Like I was playing pickleball earlier or yesterday, like in celebration of my dad's birthday. And I wasn't in a good mood for whatever reason. Maybe I was doing worse in pickleball, but I got to this point where I just was like, really want to keep playing. But it's my dad's birthday, and I want to keep playing because it's my dad's birthday, and like pickleball is fun and cool. But I was not enjoying myself, and I took a moment to really sort of think about it, and obviously I wanted to feel better, so I made a very concerted effort to have a better time and really try to flip my mental around. And that's one of the hardest things to do. I think I did it. I started playing better pickleball. I started enjoying it. It was a good time. I was very grateful that I could do that. And I think it's a very important skill in life to be able to just take stock. A silver lining to this story, like it was a crazy story, It's a very potent example of, oh my gosh, I'm feeling very sad right now because I just got freaking back. And so I think that completes the saga of Yellow's News World. Making this commentary, even thinking about making the story and telling it a couple of times to other people. One of the things I didn't want to happen was I didn't want it to taint my perception of the rest of it, because it was actually a really good party. I had so much fun dancing. There was good people there, good company. I went with a bunch of friends, and I had one of my top 4 meals of all time, bro. It was just a good night. So even though some bad things can happen, I definitely thoroughly enjoyed that night, and I don't really know where the rest of this commentary would be going. I don't want it to be like a holy frick, this person sucks. Let's go destroy them. It was a crazy interaction, a good story, and hopefully a somewhat decent speed run after that. And that is the end of this commentary video. Hope you enjoyed at the very least, and I will talk to you in the next one. The other day, I was sitting in the parking lot on a walk when I got a text from a friend saying, hey, you want to go on a double date, specifically a group date. And I was like, yeah, that would be so much fun. I was going on a date with my wife. But then I had the realization, I get asked, these days are you can't really make you down. So, one of the best screw sitting in my Walgreens parking lot. I was about to go on a hike, and I sort of have 2 options. One, text somebody from high school that I used to go on dates with, and hope they respond. So, 2, make a dating profile on a dating. It's something I've been meaning to do. I've been wanting to go on more dates, but I just haven't. I find the process of it kind of weird. I put that thought aside there because I'm still on a walk or on my hike. And I think, you know what? They're definitely find a date while I'm on a hike. How hard could that be? I'm treating it like an adventure. Almost like a series, if you've ever seen their videos. Do some. So I keep them there. Okay. If I see somebody that I guess is kind of attractive, or that I think is something that has a date with, I say no. So I think. I've literally seen no, but I might have seen somebody walking their dog. I do see this girl. Maybe I muster up the courage, and I just it feels kind of weird, So maybe I'll muster up the courage. But I approach, and they're 30 or 40. I'm like, okay, that's not what I want to have on date. So I finished the date, and I know I need to make a dating profile. Otherwise, let's go on the date. It's so weird to make a dating profile. It's so weird. When I have a profile picture, and that is something I struggled with for a while. It's the main thing that prevented me from making a dating profile, because I would like to go on dates for fun. But I muster up the courage to take some pictures of myself I want to be different though. I want to be unique, and I don't take like a like a type photo. You know, like I'm confident in myself, and I want so I just feel my profile. It's kind of fun. It's a wild experience I have. So I try and take a picture of myself shaving because I'm just shaving. I'm like, you know what? This make a profile picture. Yeah, might as well two birds with one stone. So I make my profile picture me shaving, which in my mind was like, okay, I'm being different. No, that's a big part of like having like a successful business or YouTube channel. You gotta be different than everybody else. Like, maybe it's a good strategy. I don't know. Maybe it's anyways, I have a profile picture of shaving. I take other pictures like a body shot of just like smiling, waving at the camera. I try to just make them look natural. I guess I actually had a lot of fun. Like once I got over the I think it's a good profile. Also I'm dietary. Here I am updating profile. And I think that's the hardest part was getting over that awkwardness. No, that is not even. This is the hardest part of a dating. It's like left and right. It's like can and be like yes or no. Maybe. So I don't like openly like just like saying like I'm just like if they're not who I want to date. You like do that intuitively, like when you see something, talk to somebody. But to actually put it on paper and like, swipe on somebody, it's just weird. Like this, I didn't stand. I sat in my chair, staring at the first profile for 10 minutes, deciding if I wanted to swipe left or right. After that, it got slightly easier. But I knew I was going to have to swipe a lot because there was these days. Like, if you swipe, I don't have anything to do. I like them and want to go on a date with them. But yeah, it's the odds of like getting a match, I guess, is like kind of low. So I swipe for like 10,000 or something. I get a little bit back. I get a little bit more comfortable with it. But I got one match. And fascinating with these apps though is the girl has to check first, which like normally I don't like making the first move, you know. But kind of fast. Yeah, the date is happening in like 2 hours now or something. And I still have no lead, which is kind of not what you want. The girl though that I matched with ended up saying like, "Hey, like I matched with one person, and she just says like, "Hey, oh wow, it's great." Or, so I sent a message back. I'm like, "Hey, like, nice to meet you. What are you up to?" I guess. This should have been fun. And I sent the message. So maybe I think so. I don't know. Maybe I'm being picky, but I want to write on not just because like I find them attractive, because I actually want to like talk with them. That's a big conclusion that was going through my head. A quote I quoted from funny enough, if you guys know the movie Avatar, that was the movie Avatar. Why it's a good film or why it's a good film. And the commentator, one of the biggest things he said is the two main characters, like their relationship, it's like not very good. The only reason they like were to imagine the name character that was like the military dude who becomes the blue person, and then the native. It's just basically Romeo. But if you were to imagine them in a room together, what would they talk about? And I was like, that's a really good point. So I really tried to only white on people. At first, you gotta pass the attractiveness test, I guess is the way to put it. The second, do they like similar things that I do? Do they share similar values? Like, if we were sitting in a car and we're driving to the ice, what would we actually talk about? So I tried to do that, but I don't have any luck, or something. And so I only have an hour left. And I'm like, all right, we gotta kick it into high gear, otherwise this isn't gonna happen. I don't have to tell my friends, sorry, I just can't get a date. What I end up doing is thinking, I'll just text the people that I went on dates with in high school. I have a couple in mind that I could just send a random text out of the blue. Hopefully they say yes. But the problem is I don't want to just send out six messages or something to hope I get a response. Just ask one person. So I send a text to this girl who I went on a couple of days with in high school. We might have to again together as well. And there's probably no stuff. I don't even know if I think she started going down to school in the south. But it's Christmas break, so she could be home. 2 minutes later, I get a response back. She's good to go, and I have a date now. So I send my friend a text, and there I can go figure out, all right, it's time to go ice skate. I didn't know where she lived, so I had her send me her address. And then I looked at my phone battery. As I'm looking at Slack, I'm at 50%. So if I don't make it in time, I don't know where she's in. I'm gonna have to drive all the way back home. This takes another 10 minutes. I'll my phone, send her the exact same place. So all I'm doing is staring at my phone, not while I'm driving, at a red light or I pull over to the side, and I'm like, okay, I gotta memorize this now. Where exactly? Thankfully, I make it to her house without my phone dying, and I go to the door and knock on it. She answers. I think her mom was there too. I say hi, and we get in the car and we're off the ice rink. Now, at this point, this is a true test if you're on a good date. How does the patient hold? We're sitting in the car though, no awkward silences. There's chatting, real work, and it's really good. We make ice rink with I don't know how. It's now a gig. Another, it was a blind date. Total. And it was really fun. We engaged probably an hour or two. Holding everybody. For note, we do go and play the board game, and before you know it, it's 12 o'clock at night. We're having a blast. It's been so nice to get out and out with people that's pretty much it. I kind of want to keep talking because we're watching this program, and it'd be the same if I just turned the video at 10 minutes. This is a really good case, by the way. This isn't my current personal best in speedrunning, but we're out of another 10 minutes. Also, let me know what you think of this commentary video. It's the first not in-game recording. It's kind of allows me to focus on the story. And there are more recreational dating experiences that I can talk about. I so I'm just gambling. They have been the content a while. Great. over a month. One, I'm addicted to speed running, right? What? That is, yeah. I spent so much time speed running. It's been very nice. I've taken a break from hardcore because over the past 6 months, I've really struggled with my motivation for YouTube. When I hit 1 million subscribers, and it still to this day, um, I don't want to. Anyway, I felt like I beat the early because I've been cutting my hair for 3, maybe 4 years now. Anyway, the point is, I've been cutting my hair for a while, and every year I think to myself, "Oh my gosh, I think I finally figured out how I want to cut my hair. I think this is the best thing to do." And then the next, so it's probably
被阿妈多杀杀的。Oh my gosh.